It seems, yeah, I was gonna say that seems late for you. I know you're sort of a night owl, early riser, kind of. That's when you do your creative stuff, right?
Yeah. I'm usually up 5:30, 5:45.
Brutal.
And then I have days when I'm really in the depths of writing, um, something that I'm really into. I'll have days where I wake up at 4 in the morning and I just can't sleep, and I'll goof off on my phone for about 15, 20 minutes, and then it'll be like, well, what the hell am I doing? I'm just sitting here for 15 minutes staring at my phone, looking at, you know, social media bullshit that has no impact on me or the world, really. And
Yep.
I'll uh, I'll go downstairs, start the coffee maker, and and get my day going.
I'm with you.
I've done some of my best writing at 4 in the morning.
I believe that.
Um, I think. I don't know. Shit. Um, well, we we left off. The battle was over. The battle was done. The battle was complete. All the Dobs and a couple evil monks and four nasty creatures were all dead in one way or another. And unfortunately, Sering Lama showed up to help, and unfortunately, he fell in battle, and we had a wonderful cinematic moment where Khan was leaning over him, and actually Khan tried to heal him, cast a healing spell, and it failed. So Sering Lama died um, eh, while passing on his staff uh, to Khan, saying something to the tune of whispering something to the tune of or calling him fellow Atlantean or something like that.
Good luck, fellow Atlantean.
Yes, that was it. Eh,
And and
Hmm? What? Fellow Atlantean?
he
What?
he, he
Yep.
also he also said that this place cannot continue to stand.
Oh, that's right.
he did say that.
Make sure there's nothing left for them to rebuild.
And he gave Khan his staff.
By the
Or
way,
Khan
um,
took it off his corpse. It depends on your point of view.
Khan's going through his pockets. What else is in here?
by the way, um, now that the dust is settled, Henry reaches up to his right ear, touches it, and there's a little blood on his ear. And he stomps over to Slim and he grabs his machine gun and jerks it out of his hands.
Hey, now, careful with that.
And then he pats the machine gun. He pats Slim on the face, hands him back the machine gun, says, Guter Junge, and walks away.
This man's speaking Himalayan now. He's going native.
That's German for good boy.
What's not clear is, was he talking to the machine gun or was he talking to Slim?
We will never know.
So yeah, so that's pretty much where we left off. Uh, you guys, of course. Oh my God. Sorry, my phone's been going off all morning. It's like, come on, guys, leave me alone. Just figure it out. Yeah.
So,
So I'm sorry. Go ahead. You guys are yeah. You're in the complex. You obviously you see the map there. The tower fell basically straight south, crushing Building 7 and impacting. Well, I mean the tower's gigantic. It really it probably hit the roof, the blue roof of Building 5, and then bent over that and continued on its way. Um, Pardon me. The servitors, well, that's what we're calling them, even though I guess theoretically you guys don't know what they are. Came out of each of the buildings marked number
We know
10.
they're dead.
Yeah, and the two Nachtwolfe guys came out of the little hut that is building 11.
All right. Um,
So, uh, if we pick up where we left off, um, instead of milling about smartly, we had we had briefly discussed that we can't. The Lama gave his life for us, and his last wish was that we take this place down. And Khan suggested we search some of the buildings for intelligence or artifacts or other useful bits um, before we go. So, um, what do we think? The Obviously, if the Noctwolf guys came out of Building 11, we should probably peek in there. You think?
yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And then 5 is a temple, right?
Was
Was
a
5
temple?
a temple, or did we not know? It's the biggest building in the
It's the
whole
biggest
place.
building. I mean, it's kind of one of those logical deduction type situations.
Yeah.
It's one of six buildings that have one of these blue tiled roofs,
Okay.
and it's the largest of all of them. And that's where the two monks came out of. The two bad monks, one of which was defeated by the Lama, and the other which was uh, permastunned and then defeated by the cyclone.
Yeah, I think we
Okay,
can.
so building 7 got crunched. So if we look at these various buildings, guys came running out of some of them. Remind me what like building 6 and 8 and 9 look like. Just what do they generally look like?
They're fairly nondescript.
Okay.
Stone, basic roofs, nothing really special.
And remind me what the number 10s were.
The number tens um, were the square rooms, relatively large, or buildings, square, relatively large. You know, they're probably 50 feet square,
Oh,
and they
wow.
have blue roofs. Those were the buildings that the nasties came out of.
Right. All right. Let's let's make quick work of this. I'm thinking if we look in 6, 11, and 10 right there in the upper northeast corner, that'll give us a flavor for what's in these buildings. And 11 will pinpoint. We'll see if Nachtwolf guys were harboring any documents or artifacts.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, let's hop to it. I want to get out of here.
All right.
So Slim takes a drag from his cigarette as like Baker begins to walk, and he's like looking down the wall at Singh, like crouching over the llama,
Mm.
and he says, "Baker, there's just one thing I don't get." And he pulls it from his cigarette, and he says, "Why does it call himself a llama? Isn't that an animal?"
There it is.
Wah, wah.
He
Bum, bum,
follows you off
bum.
into the camp, just
So yeah,
chattering
we.
away.
All right.
I, 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 I I think we need to get you a dictionary, young Slim. Um,
where, where,
you clearly don't know how to spell. All right, so
where do you want
yeah,
to
so
start?
we'll get we'll, we'll get make sure we're down the steps and we meet up with
Yeah.
Khan. Um, and um, I think last session Khan. Well, we're here now. We're all together. Uh, I'll relate Henry's idea to Khan about searching these different buildings to give us a flavor of what's in here, and then if we don't find anything, whatever we find, let's get it, and then let's blow this pop stand. Um, so let's. So Henry starts marching over towards. Since we came down the steps near where Khan was hunching over the llama's body, I guess 6 is the closest one. So we'll take go. Henry starts walking over towards building number 6. Building number 6.
Okay.
Um, are there steps or is it just flat and there's a door at the ground level?
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's slightly elevated. There's like one stone step. So the building definitely is sitting on some sort of stone or block foundation.
Smart for them. Good water drainage. So he steps up and pokes his head inside the door, starts looking around. What does he see?
It it is a the room. It's one big room. At least it appears to be from what you can tell from your vantage point. Shelves line the walls, as well as there's rows of shelving units running through the center of the room, full of scrolls and books.
Oh my.
Ooh.
Oh my. Khan, I think you should come take a look at this.
Very well.
Um, Walter, he turns around and looks at Walter. Walter's with us, I'm assuming.
He is, yeah,
But
walking
he's
walking around holding his head.
I was going to say he looks a little worse for wear. Uh, Maybe his brain hurts too much to take a look at all these scrolls. All right, so let's spend a little time in here looking at these shelves. Um, to be honest, since it's scrolls and stuff, that's really not Henry's bailiwick. Um, there's not much he can do here except say, "Yep, those are scrolls that somebody's really smart and who studies a lot might use." But you know, uh, is I don't know. Does Henry, when he looks at the different books, does everything look? Does it look really old? Does it look new? Does it look
Yes.
dusty? Okay, yes, all of the
Everything in
above.
between, correct.
All right. Um, if he grabs a book and opens it, does he? Can he tell what language it is? Is it anything he's seen before?
Oh, that's
Knowing he pretty much
if
only
we're
knows
if we're going
English
to
and
run
German.
based on the truths of knowing English and German, and as a result, probably has had some slight exposure to certain European languages. No,
Okay,
I
figured.
mean, now if you really want to, you could make a Reason Academia linguistics roll.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me, yeah, right. Let me ask you this though. He can tell if it's he can tell if it's an alphabet
Yeah, it's definitely
language
not
or
a.
it's a pictoform.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
it's yeah,
Asian.
yeah.
Okay,
Nothing he would have a clue about, to be sure.
okay. He sets the book down and
And wanders off.
well, he's going to look around some more to see if he sees anything else that might be of interest to him in particular. Because, like I said, if he can't read the books and scrolls are probably much older than books and full of stuff that's not in his area, unless there's a manual on, you know, how to kill a guy with a chopstick or something. He might be interested, but um,
You know, there might be some like martial arts stuff in there. with these doobobs or whatever.
Their name has morphed. Um, all right, so what we'll do is we'll see what Khan and maybe to a lesser extent Walter want to do in this building. What's your
Well, let's
thought
see what we
process,
got.
Khan? Okay.
Let's see what we got.
How exactly do you want to go about this? Because
Well,
I'm assuming you're not wanting to spend a huge amount of time. You're not going to spend days going. I mean, the place is huge. It could literally take you days to go through everything that's here. But so I guess it's really a question of what. You just tell me how you want to go about this, and we'll figure it out from there.
well, how is it organized? Like, what's the first impression from the door? So I know.
That is a valid question. Why don't you give me an insight observation, or ooh, you know what? You could probably go a couple different ways about this. We could do it as an insight observation with, I guess, with sight, or you could do reason academia and use either history or occultism as a focus.
I will do insight observation.
Okay. Jesus. Well, okay. Um,
Oh, mama.
so it it's everything in here is clearly there's no original text here. Or let me rephrase that. There there are books that are clearly copies of books um, that these are copies. They're not originals. Now there's a ton of other scrolls here as well. Further into the building, the further from the door you get, obviously, either the older or perhaps we should say the longer these have been sitting here. Further back in the building, in the room towards the for the shelves towards the rear. Texts or scrolls are more likely to be covered in dust, that type of thing. Whereas the
Well,
stuff closer to the door seems to be relatively recent.
well, that was going to be Henry's question was there, but you just said it, but obviously Khan's the one who's noticing it. But that is a good question. Would would that Khan, would that indicate a lack of dust indicates that they're more oftenly used?
I assume so. I don't know. I guess it.
And I'll give
I
you a
mean,
piece of
I assume that.
information. Sorry, but give you an additional piece of information based on just the number of successes you had. Everything, all the materials that everything is written on, are relatively recent or conventional, certainly within the last 100 years.
Okay, so they're basically scribing ancient scrolls in here. Is that? Are there like writing desks and things like that?
No, there are no writing desks. This is
Okay.
purely seems to be storage.
It's a
Okay.
library of sorts.
Yeah.
Well, Henry's got
So
a book in his hand. He jams it into Khan's hand and says, "Can you make anything of this?"
what's it written in?
Well,
You
what
need to look.
languages do you know?
Um, I speak English, Punjabi, Atlantean, Latin, and Arabic.
Jesus. Um, Give me a reason academia, and if you have a linguistics focus, you can use that.
Okay, I do have linguistics.
Hey, no pressure, but we're all counting on you.
Okay. All right. Very good. It is definitely written in Tibetan.
Hmm.
Um, Now, don't you have? I'm looking at your character sheet for a second. I thought you had some sort of talent. Good God, you've lots of talents.
I'm very talented too.
Talented crew.
That's right.
um. Okay, so that's what I thought. Your polyglot talent says, when faced with a language you don't know, you may spend one momentum in order to understand the overall meaning of the text.
Beautiful. Thanks for remembering that.
Yeah, well, I knew you had something, and I knew it's not something that's come up recently. Um, so this particular book seems to be a treatise on the intrinsic value to the order of the four indignities, and why it is important to maintain balance in the universe, that temples to the indignities be raised across the earth.
The indignities.
Correct.
I will translate um,
The bear
to the best of my
indignities.
ability to the other guys and tell them they are concerned with something called the four indignities, which temples must be raised across the world.
Oh,
So,
what's an indignity?
Yes, I don't know.
well, but Khan might, because Khan's from this part of the world and he's got quite an
That's true.
occultism background. Though I think
Sharif doesn't know, but
yeah,
Khan does.
but Khan may very very well. I think this is more of a I think this is more of a um yeah, you can this is definitely a reasoned academia with either history or occultism.
Okay. Um, I have occultism,
Okay.
so we will do that one. Um, I have three momentum. Should I use one?
Yeah, you guys have a total of 3.
I will use one.
Okay. All right, so that'll give you 3 dice.
1 6. Sorry.
No problem. Oh, okay, very good. Bad, bad, very bad. It is common on Tibetan prayer flags and in Tibetan monasteries. Uh, Tibetan monasteries often have temples to the four dignities, and it's their symbols are often found on Tibetan prayer flags. The four dignities are uh, the uh, the snow lion, the tiger, the dragon, the Garuda. Each of them represent different different positive aspects of life in the universe. The indignities are the antithesis of the dignities, and they represent fear, doubt, cruelty, and greed.
There
Feared
you
out.
have
What
it.
was it? Feared out.
Fear, doubt, cruelty, and greed.
Okay.
And
So
this
these are like anti-monks.
Yeah, yeah,
anti-
They're like the dark brotherhood.
yeah.
Oh, I caught that by the
Kalima,
behavior around school children.
Kalima.
You had to do that while I was drinking coffee. That was close.
Uh,
I like
all right.
that.
Can we infer like where the more valuable or esoteric texts might be?
Um, wow.
Like, is there like an? Ooh, are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Just reaching for something with the headphones, and my headphones fell off into the sink.
Oh, jeez.
Made a large crash, so it
Yeah.
sounded like
Yeah, it
something
fell right on
bad
a fan.
happened.
Man, no,
I
I'm
was
good.
waiting here. I was waiting to hear someone go, nothing.
Sorry about that.
Stainless steel sink.
I fell on a pan.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
Right
making
up.
eggs here while
Right up.
we're gaming.
So that's an interesting question. Very, 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 very interesting question. Um, so to answer that, shall we call for um
I have the scrutinize skill, which may be helpful in a role playing way.
what is
The
scrutinize?
talent, scrutinize. You pay close attention whenever possible, noticing little details that other might overlook. When you double the time it takes to make an observation,
Oh,
test
look
outside of
at you
combat. The
go.
first bonus D20 you buy is free. I am a policeman, after all.
You are a policeman after all. Um, So I'm going to mix this up a little bit. It's I'm going to make it a reasoned observation, and I'll let you use sight or instincts.
Okay, I have instincts, so I will use that.
Okay.
You said it's a reason?
Yes.
Okay. I will buy a die.
All right. Very good. That leaves you guys with one momentum. Actually, I take that back. It actually leaves you with. Oh no, scene ended. That's right. Never mind. So you're at one momentum. Yep. Sorry. Continue.
Okay. Wait, sorry. I did wrong. It's observation. Focus, yes. Oh, yeah, baby.
Mother of God.
Three bonus momentum. Keep that shit rolling.
Um. Wow. So um, most everything in here, I, a lot of it seems to be, shall we say,
Oh,
anti-monk gobbledygook.
excuse me for 1 second. It says when I double the time it takes, the first d20 is free.
Oh,
So
so it didn't cost you a
it
momentum.
didn't cost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you guys have five, which is great because
Nice.
there's so much for you guys to kill right now. Um,
Well,
you
searching
can use it
anyway.
for other things. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
So we got that going for us.
That's right.
Lunga
Um,
gunga
We're
lunga.
good searchers.
most of it is most of it seems to be philosophical ravings of rather unsettled minds, people that are in line with the yang of the universe as opposed to the yin.
So
um,
incels,
yeah.
Tibetan incels hang out here.
Apparently, perhaps,
Rid of
they
the internet.
well, um, but and a lot there are a lot of what appears to be Tibetan translations of books that you're familiar with, or at least are aware of their existence. Yeah, and you know the ones we're talking about, things like the Necronomicon. So there's a lot of that. Um, however, there's one that grabs your eye. Uh, you've you've heard of it, probably. I'm just going to go with you've heard of it because you're a pretty occult knowledge guy. Um,
It's his hobby.
yeah, it is his hobby. Um, and I'm just going to burn a point of your momentum to give you this information, um,
Nice.
just to make life a little bit easier for us and bring down the mechanics.
Michael
Um,
Stewart cookbook
that's right.
all the way here.
There is there is one that you've heard of. You've never seen one before, and it's called
Mm,
the Book of Zion,
mm,
and it looks like it's a translation, obviously, in Tibetan. You might be able to understand it if you take some substantial time working on it.
I will, but not right now. Is it Zian? Xian?
No, it's spelled Dzyan.
Dzyan. Okay.
The Book of Zion, just based on your knowledge and understanding, is considered a comprehensive history of Atlantis,
Mm,
Oh, nice.
as well as the true nature of all the gods and the structure of the universe.
Holy
Well,
man.
that sounds like a good read.
yes. Well, let's not forget that we're getting this straight from the library of some very edge lordy dudes. So
Edge
True.
lordy dudes.
this may or may not point to anything real.
Some very edge lordy dudes. I like that.
So, so the view might be a bit biased.
Might be distorted. Yes. Yes. Okay. So we'll take that and then maybe move on because we'll be here all night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one question that I had is, do we still have some explosives,
Well,
or did we like use them all on the?
yeah. What we had talked about was all right. So let's step out of the game for a second and talk about strategy. What we were going to do, what I had suggested was you wanted to search these buildings, see what we could find. So let's search the buildings and see if we find any explosives. If we don't, we can use a story point to say we found some composition B, and then we'll use that to blow the place up as we walk away with everything blowing up right behind us in the scene.
I love that.
Yes, not looking back.
Right. Not
Yeah.
flinching either, just
Not flinching
That's
at all.
right. Which you can also use. Momentum to create a truth as well. And right now you're
that's
swimming
right.
in it.
And
So
we're swimming in momentum, so we could do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's barrels of kerosene over there.
exactly.
And a big pile of fertilizer they haven't put on the fields yet.
Lucky us.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, that was the plan. Was to either we can use momentum, we can use a fortune point to say we have what we need to do our cinematic moment. But I agree with you. Um, let's uh, let's poke our heads in buildings 10 and 11.
Should we split it up to go faster? Or are we like running out of
I
game
don't I
time
don't
for
think
this?
there's
Or?
any problem with that. Since
No?
Henry speaks German, um, I suggest I go. I'd say let's split it up to go faster. Henry has no problem going into building 11 to see if he finds any documents or other intelligence in German, because that's where the Nachtwolf guys came from. And then maybe you two guys, you and Walter can come with whoever he wants to come with. He's just wandering around drooling. Um, the No, I'm just joking. Nothing against Walter. He did a really good job.
It's
It's
just like a
just
long weekend at Berkeley. He's
it's
fine.
he's
He's fine.
yeah
He
he's
won't be able to speak in full sentences for another
he's
48 hours, but
he's
he's
taking a
fine.
pounding. But at any rate, so 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 why don't you two check out building 10? I'll go check out building 11, and let's make quicker work of this.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Okay, so I'll let Slim go to 10. I was in 6.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were
Yeah.
all in 6. Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, maybe I'll go to 7 then.
Okay.
Well,
And
seven's been crushed by a fallen tower.
Oh,
7's
that's
been
right.
crushed.
How
Yeah.
about 5 or 4 or something?
Well, if you want, let's make quick work of it.
Well, yeah, and let
Henry's
me
already
here.
walking towards
Let's do
11.
this. Let's move people
It's
around on
for a
the
little
map.
guardhouse. Can I tell what it is from here?
Four is a
Trying to dismiss it.
statue.
Okay, that's easy then. 5.
All right. Five.
Although I say it's easy, but it's probably got a trapdoor that contains the magic Vorpal sword.
Where's 5? I don't even see. Oh, the
Middle.
big one in the building.
big one, yeah.
Big one in the middle.
Yeah, the
Okay.
big giant sucker.
All right. Perfect. Which direction Slim going? Slim sticking with.
Slim was going to 10, I think, right?
10, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then I don't know. Walter's just gonna stand in the middle and drool.
Poor
all right.
Walter.
All right. So
Being the wall.
I'll just start in the south with Khan. Khan, 5 is obviously quite a large building. It's obviously dominating the middle of the complex. Um, it is to cut through it very quickly. It is just a huge temple and assembly hall. Um, Twisted statues line the room. Statues of creatures you've never seen before. Some, and then some that you think are probably representations of evil outer gods. Air's heavy with the smell of melted butter, juniper, and blood.
Oh,
Yeah,
offerings.
yeah. Um, it's uh, it's not a very friendly place as a general rule.
This place is creeping me out.
Yeah, and instead of typically in one of these Tibetan temples there would be 108 uh, butter lamps around the altar, and in this case, there's 117 skulls. So
Ooh,
Khan stood there long enough to count them all.
this is bad. Connor's getting a creepy shiver down his spine.
Yeah, there is at the back of the at the back of the main room behind the altar. There is a single door.
All right, I guess we have to go that direction.
You.
Alrighty. Um, the door is locked. Shocker, I know. You're surprised. I would be surprised.
I do not believe I have anything for that.
I think you've
Uh,
have you not picked a lock before? Or maybe that was Henry.
that's Henry's department. Yeah,
Yeah, Henry's got burglar tools.
yeah. Henry.
Well, I mean, you could
Um, I mean, I could. I don't even have like a prying tool or anything. I could look around. Uh, I have a pistol, but that's not going to really help me. Well,
try
I
to
have, I have a spell.
well, Spear of Indra the door.
Fear of injury the lock.
Oh man.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
I
can
don't.
certainly do that if you like.
Well, it seems it's not the kind of it's the kind of thing Sharif would do, but not the kind of thing Khan would do.
Seems a little a little a little overkill,
Yeah, a
perhaps.
little reckless.
Yeah.
He'll walk outside and try to flag down Henry.
All right. All right. So
This is a job for our burglar master.
what we'll do is I'll we'll talk to the other
Excuse me.
guys real quick, and then we'll
Sure,
come back to
sure,
it.
sure, sure.
So Slim, you move into the square blue roofed building. Um,
Okay.
as you approach the door, there's a symbol carved into the door. You know, something I guess you would assume is one of them Eastern pictorial languages or something. I don't know. Sorry, that's terrible. I don't. That's what is the reason I don't do accents. Um,
That was an accent.
yeah, something. Um, you open and go inside.
That was funny.
Yeah,
That was an
yeah.
accent.
I think it's a scene of like like he like pushes open the door with the muzzle of his machine gun.
Yeah, of course he does.
Yeah,
Uh, it's
and he just looks into the darkness.
there is a there is a brazier on the far side of the room, uh, made of human skulls that has a fire burning in it that lights
Oh,
this room. Um, yeah, a flaming brazier, not to be confused
These
with
are
a flaming
bad
brazier.
people.
Yeah,
These are bad people.
they are bad people. The walls are lined with statues that look like those things that you guys defeated. There is the floor is covered in blood, and there's an altar on the far side next to the brazier. The brazier. Now I'm doing it. The brazier. Um, yeah,
Okay, the floor's covered in blood.
yeah.
Uh,
Old
yeah,
sticky blood. Yeah.
yeah. He like maybe like takes a step in, and his boot gets covered in old sticky blood, and he recoils and pulls out, and then he like shakes his head, and he just like kicks the door closed and wanders back to the group.
Yeah. Nopes his way out of that one.
Yeah.
Um, Henry, the hut as you approach it. This building is not like the others in the area. It's made out of cement. A very Western, material. Certainly nothing you've seen in any of these buildings around this monastery so far. And you realize now that there are there's cables that connect the back of the building up to where the radio antenna once was. Door's pretty conventional, just a basic wooden door with a doorknob.
okay. I'll open up the door. and go in.
So uh, there are two tables, one of which has what is certainly most certainly a radio, though you're not perhaps familiar with the exact model. But you recognize a radio as much as the next guy, right?
Yep.
Um, the other table is covered in messages and two books. Um,
I'll take a look at the books. They look like code books or something like that.
no, they're written in English.
Hmm. Okay.
Um, one of them says right on it in English, the Book of Zion, and the other one says the one of them has a note stuck in it. It doesn't have a title on it, but it has like a piece of paper, like a note sticking out of it. And that note says uh, priority Book of the Machine. There's one other thing. There's another device in this building. It's on the far side of the room. It's on the floor, and it takes up most of the far side of the room. It's about 5 feet tall, 6 feet across, and a couple feet deep. The radio equipment is plugged into it, and there's other cables that come out of it that go out the back wall, presumably up to the antenna. You're not sure what it is, but it's some kind of machine, but it has veins of shimmering blue crystal throughout it.
Is that very familiar, right?
Hmm.
Um, so the book had a note sticking out of it. Is it inserted into a certain page?
No, it just seems to be haphazard, stuck into the middle of the text.
Okay. Um,
Oh, and I said they're written in English. I don't know why I would have said that. They're in German. I'm sorry.
in German. Okay. All right. Hey, you know what? All right. So um, he's certainly going to collect the books and put them in his backpack.
Okay.
Um, um, he looks around. Does he see any other paperwork or documents of any kind?
There's a couple stacks. It looks like incoming and outgoing messages.
He's going to take a look at some of the incoming messages, see if he sees anything of note, um, maybe names of people he might know or important bigwigs in Germany or whatever.
Yeah, there's definitely a few that you recognize. In fact, well, let's do this. Let's just do a quick inside observation with sight, I guess.
Okie dokie.
And you guys are at 5 momentum, just so you're aware. Oh, all right. Now you're at 6 momentum. Um,
Yay.
definitely, definitely some names that you recognize. Um, there's as you just thumb through it, one catches your eye right away, and it's actually Hauptmann Fuchs, or not Hauptmann Fuchs. What was his? We don't know his name. I'm sorry, his rank. It was what was his first name? Helmet Fuchs. That's it. Sorry. I,
Oh,
um,
God.
a message saying that enemy agents had eliminated Helmet Fuchs, uh, and
I love it.
translation is getting various books translated and getting the monks on board is, of utmost priority. You see, you definitely see names of uh, oh, Liesel Moore. Um, you guys, someone should have her in the in their uh, in their notes somewhere. Liesel Moore,
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, I wrote it down. It's just I got to dig through pages of this stuff to find her.
as well as
Is that the lady from the boat?
no,
No.
no, Liesel Moore. Well, and also the name Mina Wolf.
Yeah, we know Mina.
Yeah. Um, so there, yeah. I mean, there's. It would take some time to really go through all this and see what it
Okay.
all really is. But there's definitely a lot of information here that would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll just grab up a whole. I'll just grab up the one of the boxes of incoming messages and just dump it into my backpack.
sounds good.
We'll give it
Um,
we'll give it to intelligence guys later.
that sounds like a plan. Liesel Moore was the. Liesel Moore is the. You guys. The reason you guys know that name is she is the. You believe she's the one heading up this project for Nachtwolfe.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's why her name is familiar. And then Mina Wolf is of course the head of
Right.
Nachtwolf. And there's a number of other names as well that you don't recognize, but seem to be important just based on a quick glance through. So
All right.
Good
So
find.
it so this machine was hooked up to the radio or to the big antenna?
to both.
To both. Oh. Uh maybe they're trying to use this machine to call down the big evil nasties. Uh
BRB real quick, guys.
Go
Gotta
ahead.
stir the pot. Be right back.
um
There goes Sharif stirring the pot again.
Always.
so if I uh Henry he moves up to the machine. Um this thing's pretty big, you said.
Yes, it is. It is about 5 feet tall, 6 feet wide, and a couple feet deep.
Yeah, so it's gigantic, which, you know, machines of that day tended to be, especially if they were communications devices. So this blue crystalline stuff, is it like veining through it? The machine
Correct.
is the machine made of stone with this crystal running through it,
No,
or
the
is it like
machine
a
is the machine's
metal?
made of conventional metal materials. It looks like a modern man-made machine, but it's
Okay,
got these veins of blue crystal running. You can shining between like different metal plates and different components and such.
I'm back.
okay. Um, all right. So he looks around. This hut is concrete. Obviously, the Germans came in and made this place. If he looks at the floor, is it a wood floor or is it a stone floor?
No, it's a wooden floor.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Let me pause for a second. Not Henry. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to invoke the fortune points here. Um,
Well, from a meta perspective, we're at the end, right? So you might as well burn them.
well, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. We can burn them. We're going to burn them. We're going to use the fortune points to find a cache of explosives. It seems to me, given the cinematic nature of this, that the monks wouldn't use something as gauche as explosives, right? They would use their
Sure.
hands and fists, and they would use magic and call down monsters and blah blah blah. But the Germans would. But the Germans would. So I'm thinking, since the Germans made this place, this is the place to invoke the momentum. How many momentum does it to create a truth?
2, and you guys
I
have
have
5.
one fortune point laying around,
Oh,
so
I do too. But if we
okay.
can use momentum, let's use it because we have 5 or 6 of them.
Okay.
So I'm going to use 2 momentum and create a truth that there's a barely perceptible line in the wooden floor, and when Henry opens up the trap door, there's a hidden cache of uh, explosive comp B in underneath.
Nice. All right, that
Cool.
works.
Obviously, the Germans were planning that if they had to, if it was an emergency, if they had to, they'd take the place out to keep it from falling into the wrong hands.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, well, they weren't thinking too straight. No, they obviously didn't think a small group of a couple of, 3 or 4 knuckleheads could take them down. Ha 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 ha.
Knuckleheads with wizards.
And a big cyclone that was moving around chasing guys around.
I'm a wizard.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what.
They'll never defeat us unless they have wizards. I'm a wizard. And ninjas. And Henry's like, I'm a ninja.
All right, um, so machine, radio, table with messages, 2 books. Collected some messages in the 2 books. He found the trap door with the comp B in it. It's time to. He obviously can't do much with the machine. Now, he's touched the other artifacts before, and he got all tingly and twitchy.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily wanting to touch this machine because, frankly, he can't take it with him. It's giant. But the antenna at least was torn down, so it's not like it can accidentally turn on and communicate to somebody. But it's Henry's wants to leave well enough alone, so he's going to exit the building and look around for the guys to see if they've popped out.
Yeah, and I'd say that's when you see Khan standing out by Building 5, flagging you, waving and probably calling for you.
Okay, so I'm going to head over to towards Khan. Is Slim still in Building 10?
Now, Slim wasn't in Building 10 probably more than about 19 seconds. So.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, he went, ew. And it's all right.
Well,
So
I ain't found shit.
So,
by the way, I'm sorry, real quick. You know who that actor is, don't you?
I don't, off the top of my head.
That
It's been a long time.
actor is the guy who played Tuvok in Star Trek Voyager,
No way.
and is also the principal from that kid show iCarly, that Nickelodeon show iCarly. It's the
That's
same
crazy.
guy.
Really? I'm going to
Yeah.
have to go back and look at that.
all right, so let's all collect on Khan, and Henry's gonna tell everybody what he found, and that there's a cache of explosives under the floor in that building. The Germans obviously didn't trust their fellows, which surprise, surprise. So there, and he looks at Khan and says, I'm sorry, Khan. You had something on your mind?
There's a lock that needs picking.
Oh, let's see to it.
All right.
Show me the way.
Take the boys back to the door in question.
Okay.
You want I should just bust it down?
Khan is looking him over to see if he has his bazooka with him when he says that.
No, no, I had to leave the bazooka at home.
All right, so I've got burglar's tools with three uses. So using the burglar tool reduces the difficulty to 0,
Correct.
or at least by 1, but it could be 0.
Reduces it
So
by 1. Correct.
so do I even have?
Now this you don't even have to roll if you don't want to. It makes the difficulty 0. It's a
Right.
fairly
All right.
simple
So I'll
lock.
just open the door.
Okay, very good. So the room inside is small. It looks like relatively looks like the personal quarters of somebody. There's a whatever the exact word is for Tibetan sleeping hammock. There is a desk with writing implements. Um, uh, a bureau, a trunk, and yeah. So it looks like the personal quarters of somebody.
Well, Con.
Let's toss it
All right.
Okay.
like a salad.
All right. So just I guess we can call it inside observation. Whoever wants to.
Who's
Uh,
got the? I think Con's probably got the best, right?
Yeah, if you're saying inside observation, that's my jam.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
All right. Difficulty
How
1.
much?
You
How
guys
much
have 3
stuff do we
momentum.
have? Do I want to scrutinize? Let's scrutinize.
Yeah. Take the extra time and get the first D20 free.
Sure.
Okay. 3 dice. Difficulty 1. Oh, very good. All right. So put you back at 5 momentum. Jesus. Okay.
We're good searchers.
You are. You are. Not a whole lot of interest. It's based on the blue robes. No doubt, and various markings. No doubt, it's the personal quarters of the head monk of this monastery, whatever his exact title perhaps is, the anti monk, if you will, the anti lama. Um, Not a whole lot of interest. There are 2 books, one of which they're both written in Tibetan. Um, one of them I'm going to burn just a piece of momentum because you guys have 5, and what else are you going to do with it? I'm going to burn 2 pieces of momentum, so that puts you at 3. One of
Wow,
them
wow,
looks
okay.
one of them looks like his personal memoirs or something along those lines, a journal. Maybe is a better word. The other, the other makes your skin crawl just a little bit because it is obviously a spell book.
Whoa.
Ew.
Ooh.
Oh my. Is it?
Ah.
Is the cover made from human skin?
Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, don't be silly, Henry.
They're all covered with human.
All these books are covered in human skin.
And the ones that are scrolls are written on human skin. What are we talking about? Probably in blood. That's what that
It's a
brown
spell
ink
component.
is. Now I from a meta standpoint or an out of game standpoint, um, a spell book is now obviously characters maybe don't realize this, but Con would. A spell book is a big thing. Um, I don't know any other. I can't underscore it enough. It finding a spell book of one of the different schools of magic is it's a pretty enormous thing.
So you're talking about a big deal, not it's a big book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This book is 7 feet tall and weighs approximately 3,000 pounds. No, it's a big deal, absolutely.
Okay.
Now Slim doesn't know any better, I'm sure, but
Never does.
Well, so this is the personal spell book of the dude.
Stands to reason.
All right. So spell book of Lama. I'll put in the
Yeah, I mean,
character
you can
sheet.
actually, if you want, or if you're just wanting to move on and look at it later, that's fine. Yeah.
Well, no, I can look at it now. It's just that's. I mean, to save time, but it's totally up to the party. We could either scrutinize it now, or we could wait.
Well, you go ahead and take a look at it.
Okay.
Henry's going to take a quick look at the Book of the Machine
What was the other book that was with the spell book?
Uh,
journal.
a journal.
Okay. Well, we'll keep that too, obviously.
So while you're looking at that, Henry's going to look at this Book of the Machine because I did have one question. I'm trying to look at my notes, but it seems to me this was something we were supposed to find.
The llama was going to give you a translated copy of it
That's right.
if you succeeded in taking out this antenna.
So So we've got a translated copy coming. This one
It's
may or may
translated
not.
into German.
It's in German, but it may or may not be. It may or may not be the real thing.
Yeah, that's a valid statement. I mean,
That's right. I'll
yeah.
save it. We can compare when we get the translated copy later. When we get back to the Hey Llama, when we get back to his temple or whatever with all his folks, we then we'll have two to bounce off of each other. His would probably be the more reliable, I'm sure. All right, so he's going to stick it back in his backpack.
Okay. Sing, you want to make a roll on this thing?
Oh yeah, I do. What is it gonna be?
It's going to be reason, academia with occultism.
Okay, buying an extra die.
All right, that's fine. I mean, that puts you back at 2 momentum.
Need
Um,
one back.
yeah, got one back. Also got a complication.
Dun dun dun.
I hurt myself.
Yeah, my brain hurts.
Brain hurts.
This is the spell book. This is the complete spell book of Sarthithus.
I'm sorry. That,
Well, I didn't know how
supposed
much
to
of
be
your
impressed.
Lovecraft you remember.
I don't remember. Spellbook of Sarthithus.
All right, so let's do
Do you have a
this.
stutter? Lisp?
The deadly Sarthithus. Necromancer.
we we can. I mean, we can, if you like, we can just burn that point of momentum you gained, and I'll tell you what you know about Sarthithus.
Yes.
All right. Sarthithus
Say,
is.
this looks like the spellbook of Sarthithus.
I thought I put it.
Say,
Despicable.
despicable spellbook of Sarthithus.
So, yeah, Sarthithus is otherwise known as the Sundered God, a being of implausible power, uh, a physical body that's a succession of imponderable geometric forms and non-Euclidean planes beneath crazed amorphousness. Um, the god is, if he in fact exists, he's broken. He's not actively conscious. More a vestige of instinct and cunning because he was brought to Earth by a nameless race thousands and thousands of years ago, and he ran into Nyarlathotep. And the two contended for mastery, and Sarthithus lost and was banished to another dimension. Um, but it would seem to believe you would seem to think that he's trying to find his way back. If he now has actual, priests and spellcasters.
Wow, that's pretty cool lore. You got to be a
And what
badass to go up against Nyarlathotep.
what sorts of spells are contained within? Does this
Oh
correspond to anything in the player's handbook, or is this more of a
no,
specialty?
no. This is one of those. If you really want to investigate this, this is going to take some time.
No, Khan fears this book. This
Wow.
book, this book, this book is madness. To delve into this book is like watching a marathon of Kardashian episodes. You may not recover your sensibilities. You'll be forever altered. Um,
I only have to see their tweets to feel like that.
that's right. That's right. So no, he will. Yeah, this is very scary. This belongs in a warehouse next to the Ark. You know what I mean?
Being
Top
studied by top
man.
men.
Top men. All right, so we got that. Now,
Okay.
looking at the journal,
Mm.
does this tie in any of the backstory with the Noctwolf people we've been fighting? Are they
Um, Definitely a lot of information here, but if you you flip to the most recent entries, yeah, there's definitely discussions about the Germans and that type of thing. Like I said, to get some real detail, you'd have to spend some time with it. But yeah, there's it's definitely a tie in there. They were
okay?
originally reached out to by the Germans. It looks like about a year ago.
So they're allies in their nefarious plot to bring back the despicable Tharthethith. I see. I see. Is there mention of any other allied groups that we do not know about?
No.
Thank goodness. Could you imagine if they were like, our agents in Washington,
Yeah, right.
damn it,
The fort next door.
or Scotland Yard is in agreement? Like, oh shit. All right, so we
And
got
not
that
forget the
stuff.
National Police Force of Portugal. Sorry, that was a whole lot less impressive than Scotland Yard or our
Very
agents in
fearsome.
Washington.
Although Portugal seems like a really great place to live, but that's an aside that doesn't matter. Okay, I don't know. I guess there's nothing else in this room then.
No.
It's more or less it. Okay, guys, let's spread out to somewhere else. We've got some real good intel now. Is there anything we want to? We've got all these buildings to the south and a couple to the west.
Well, frankly, this place gives me the creeps. Uh, I think
Uh,
there's just a bunch of icky bits in those blue houses over there.
Hmm.
it's your call if there's anything else you want to look at, but I,
Can we sort of hand wave it, Marty? Can we
Yeah,
say there
absolutely.
was nothing, or you found something in
Yeah,
agent
no,
information?
a quick investigation of the rest of the so the blue roofed number 10s are all identical.
Deal. Love it.
So the rest of the buildings are a mix of. I mean, there's a kitchen, there's a couple dormitories. Just kind of the normal buildings you expect anywhere where there's going to be a group of people, right? They have to have a place to sleep and a place to cook and stuff like that. So there's really everything else is, with the exception of the other number 10 buildings, everything else is pretty mundane.
All right, let's go back to the body of the, or Khan will anyway, look to make a litter with anything that we may have found.
yeah, so we can carry him out. Meanwhile,
Maybe we even found a cot or something that we can
Oh, I'm
take.
sure.
meanwhile, Slim and I, um, we're going to go back to Building 11, and we're going to get the explosives, and um, we obviously have to blow up Building 11 because it's got that infernal machine. Um, we have to blow up Building 11. Um, I suggest we put some explosives in Building 5. Any other suggestions?
Uh, we'll play it out because we're hand waving it. But Slim is thrilled, uh, and he will. He's glad to do this labor and put these explosives wherever you please.
He's like a conductor. This is like his grand symphony. What's
All
in
right.
building 2, by the way? It's just like a gatehouse.
Yeah, it's just the gatehouse into the place.
I mean, I'm confident that if we're hand waving it, the whole place is going to go right. We can just
Yeah. If I wanted to get really complex, I'd say this would be reason engineering with explosives. But I mean, between momentum and remaining fortune points, you guys can just make this happen, and that's
So
just
we're
what you do.
montaging it. So there's a sweaty Slim and a sweaty Henry going from building to building, putting the explosives in
awesome.
with fuses. Meanwhile, Khan is Khan and with a little help from Walter, they're putting together some kind of litter or something so we can carry the body back to where he belongs. Right? Is that what you said you were doing?
Sorry, I cut out for a second because I accidentally reloaded the tape.
Oh, so I thought you said that Khan was trying to build a
Yes.
litter so that we could carry the body out back so it could
Yeah,
be
it sounds like we
treated with
found a
our food.
cot
Okay, cool.
or
the
something
the
that we
uh,
can
the
carry him
body of
in.
the llama is gone.
Oh, that's right. It
Oh
disintegrated.
wow.
Didn't it?
Oh,
Oh,
the
I forgot about
our
that.
friendly llama, the
Yeah,
Atlantean.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
After he
Well,
passed
so
away,
that
his body just kind of
Like
dis
he
like
did a
disappeared.
Yoda.
Yeah,
Obi-Wan, yeah.
yeah. He pulled a Jedi trick.
So we don't need to litter his ass
Oh,
around.
Correct.
good.
Okay, that's good.
So we got that going for
Well,
us.
we have his staff. What is up with that? Does that do anything?
Well,
Um.
that's for you to find out.
What does
So.
this do?
This would be Reason Academia with all right. Well, first off, the first question is if you're looking to identify what it is. This would be Reason Academia with it would not be occultism. It would be history or science. I guess I could let you use either of those. I don't know that you have either of those.
I do not.
Okay.
Okay, so
You
how much
guys
momentum do we have?
you have two.
I will use one.
Okay. One success. You believe this is simply it goes by the very very complex and epic name of an Atlantean power staff. It can be used to hit enemies with beams of energy.
Ooh.
Very cool.
Ah.
Magic missile.
Yeah, except you don't know how long it's going to. You know it. You don't know where it draws its power from or how long it's going to last. So,
What does that mean? How long it's going to last?
meaning
Like,
how many times you'll be able to use it.
so charges or whatnot?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And and so we don't want to waste a charge setting off the explosives. We'll use regular fuses for that.
It might be spectacular, but yeah, you're right. Kind of a waste.
Okay, so after our sweaty montage of rigging all the explosives and setting up all the fuses, um, you guys are at Gatehouse 2. Slim and I are standing near the statue at 4. By the way, before we light these fuses, if we look up, what does the statue look like? Did we see it before? Did we pay any attention to it before?
I don't think anyone really paid much attention to it, except from the standpoint to say that it is a statue.
Well, just point of curiosity. He looks up.
Um, yeah, I probably should have. I,
Sorry.
I should have done a. I should have done. I should have clipped. I should have snipped this so that you guys could see it because honestly, I didn't expect it to come up. Because I don't even know if I can describe it properly.
Oh,
Let me see if I can make this a thing real quick. Let's see here. I need to go into my.
Describe it as though you were writing at 4 a.m.
I was just saying, this guy's a writer and he doesn't know how to use his words to describe it.
This is just. It's just something different, and yeah, I think you just have to see it. I think to truly appreciate what we're talking about here. And fortunately, I have Photoshop open because I always have Photoshop open.
That's my secret, Captain.
You always have Photoshop open?
Yep.
That's interesting. Let's see. I gotta go.
I don't know. I don't pay that subscription.
Where is it? There it is. All right, so we're gonna do the handy dandy Shift Windows S, and we're gonna snip this. Well, hold on, maybe not. I'll try it again. And we're gonna hit a new, and we're gonna to the size of the clipboard, and so it's like I said, it's kind of a statue, and they didn't give us a picture that gives us the full look of the whole thing, and I'm not sure why, but that's okay. The statue seems to make sort of an undulating platform in the middle of which is kneeling a human figure, and then the rest of it is just a. Where are we going to save this to? We're just going to save it to the desktop. That way I can find it quickly. Export. Okay. Here we go. And oh, that moment you have too many windows open. You're constantly having to minimize everything. Okay, this I know I'm going through a lot for very little here, but at this point I'm committed.
I was going to say,
Nice. It's their favorite part of the process, uploading files to Roll20.
That's right. We're almost there. We're almost
Stay
there.
on target. Stay on target.
That's right.
Watch those laser turrets.
There, you should see something. It says mysterious note, but it's not a mysterious note.
Oh,
It's the
okay.
statue.
Oh, interesting.
Are we supposed to see it?
Yeah, it's in the
Handout.
documents.
Oh, handout. Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
interesting.
Okay, now I get it.
What? That's the statue.
Yeah,
The statue is what part?
the whole
icy
thing, like that
Swoosh.
human figure that you see in that picture is probably only about as part of the statue is probably only about 3 inches tall.
Is this meant to represent Sarthithus?
Well, you've never seen him, but very maybe possibly.
It's a non-Euclidean
Flames, yeah.
expression of, even though that, I'm not sure of that. Anyway,
It's maddening.
All right. Anyway,
Wiggles.
I'm sorry I asked.
Sorry, yeah.
Squiggles are driving me insane.
All right, so Henry looks at Slim, and now for cinematic purposes, we're going to use fuses that you light, and Henry's going to reach into his pocket and pull out a Leica. He's going to pull out a small item that he carries with him always. His father gave it to him. It's a Leica cigarette lighter, made in Germany in the 1920s. And he's going to light the fuses.
Awesome.
Nice. Um,
And then he puts his arm around Slim's shoulder, and they don't dawdle, but they also don't run. They quickly make their way to the gate to collect up the team, and we start walking away.
yeah.
Baker, how long's the fuse? I gotta know when not to flinch.
Steady, man, steady.
So, slow motion shot of the four of you walking away from the monastery as explosions start to go off. Um, and one element of note is one of the explosions. It's more than just an explosion from Comp B. On the northern end of the complex, there's an explosion that shakes the whole ground like for quite a ways. The it and goes up well over the walls and
Oh,
um,
does part of the mountain cliff fall down?
yeah, we can go with that. Absolutely. Yeah. Crushing building 12 and part of the skull wall on that side, and
Wait a minute.
it's
How do you know this without looking back?
yeah, that's right. Uh,
He's painting a picture for the viewer.
that's right. And it's all very epic, slow motion, pulpy action film as you guys walk away.
Awesome. Awesome.
So to cut through it a little bit, you guys make your way back to the lake, and
One thing happens before that.
oh, what's that?
Isn't there a doggy running around outside the walls
anymore.
waiting to meet up with Walter?
I
So
think
there's a reunion scene with
I think
his
the dog was left back at the
Was he?
other spot. Yeah,
He didn't come
I don't
with
know.
us. I've lost track of where the dog was.
yeah, that's what we're going with because I don't
Okay.
see a way to bring the yeah. That's just what we're going with.
Okay.
It's gonna be real funny next session when Jim's like, "Where's my dog?"
Oh yeah, he's somewhere in Tibet, I
He's like,
think.
Nepal. Sorry.
Oh man.
Don't worry about it. He'll make his way home eventually.
Building number 7, I think.
Shit.
Haven't you seen The Incredible Journey? He'll be fine. Um,
Whoops, we lost Kyle.
we did lost Kyle. We did
Oh
lost.
man. All right, let's give him a minute.
You can't hear me?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, there you are. Okay.
Oh.
Hi.
You blinked out of existence for a moment.
Yeah, you went into Sarthas's neighborhood.
Be in flames.
You return to the your to the original lake. You walk out of the lake. You're back in the valley that your plane landed in. The plane has moved. The plane is the plane has been turned around and is facing this long stretch that you imagine would probably be enough to get it enough speed to get it off the ground. The Walter's dog is there and all happy to see you guys, and Luca's a real fan of the fact you guys have returned in typical dog mode. You arrived at the house. Oh my God, you're home! You're home! You're home! I didn't think you'd ever come back. And then you realize you forgot something in the car, and you go out and get it and come right back. And the dog goes, "Oh my God, you're home! You're home! You're home! I never thought you'd be back." Um, the boy is there. What was his name? Rafi? Was that right?
Rafi, yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
And he's looking rather somber at your approach. And
Who's going to give him the bad news? Khan, I elect you.
Khan
Oh,
seems
Sharif
like
seems
the one to
dropped
do.
off now.
Oh,
What's
he
going on
dropped
here?
off.
I dropped off.
happening?
You dr-
Can you guys not hear me?
No,
I
I
can't
I
can't.
now.
can hear you. We couldn't see your
yeah, your avatar was gone.
avatar.
Weird,
That's
because I've been
weird.
here the whole time. Well, so
weird.
are you seeing me now?
Yeah.
Wait, now Henry dropped off and now he's back.
Oh, all right.
Roll 20 doing roll 20
Contagious.
Roll
things.
20's doing weird shit. Okay, so I elect Khan to tell the boy the bad
Well,
news.
thanks, Henry. All right, kid, I got some hard news for you. But it looks like he already kind of knows, right? You said he's bumming.
Yeah, he he nods as you all are approaching, and he says he says you succeeded. The
At
sun
a
starts to
cost.
come up over the like the sky's lightening at the edge of the valley where the sun's starting to rise.
We were victorious, but it came at a terrible cost. He'll put his hand on the young boy's shoulder. I'm terribly sorry, young man, but your llama has perished.
He kind of he nods and hangs his head a little bit, and when he looks up, he says, "It all will be well. He will return."
Indeed.
He says,
I
"Now
don't
is
see
Kyle
Kyle.
actually gone this time?"
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see him. It's freaking me out. Kyle.
I'm with you always.
Dude, what
Dude,
is
it's like you're a disembodied spirit. As soon as you start talking, your avatar appears.
That's wild.
really
That's
bizarre?
crazy.
Fear me.
It's weird, man. Is Kyle here? I am here. Whoa, what the hell? It's like we got to play with a Ouija board.
It's like a
Kyle,
ghost
Kyle,
breathing
what do you
down
want to
your neck.
do? It's your turn. Kyle says he wants to.
Rafi says, I have your reward for you, and he turns around. He hefts a small chest from behind him, and he holds it out to you. He says the book he promised you is in here. And then he says, and I have something else. He hands you he he pulls out of a small sack a I'm trying to find the damn name of it, which of course when I need to find it is when I can't find it. You know, the sign of a hyper prepared GM. But I'll make it easy. Whatever the technical word is, he pulls out of the sack a red sash. It's a traditional Tibetan sash that has
Hmm.
a small bell on one end, and he ties it around. He actually, I guess, he ties it around Khan's waist, but then he pulls one out of the sack for each of you and ties it around each of your waists. And he says, "This will bring you fortune when you most need it."
Well,
It's also very, very snazzy. Thank you, young Rafi. By the way, can you tell me how this works? And I'll show him the staff.
Mm,
Lama, what was his last name?
Searing.
Lama Siring gave it as a parting gift before he departed this world.
He looks at it and he says, "Yes, press the button."
I see you are a smartass of extreme proficiency, young Rafi. Your studies have not gone to waste.
As you
Little
look,
smart
there
aleck
is a
bitch.
as you look, you see there is a small a small pressure button set into the staff.
Very well. That's hilarious. Okay.
Let me do this. I am going to. Where is your? I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna steal your character sheet for a second. Where are you? Um,
Are you speaking to me?
I was speaking to myself as much as anything. I was looking for Singh, but of course it's in here as Inspector General Kanamir Singh. So,
I put
um,
all the books at the bottom right of the equipments of note, and I put the staff at the bottom of weapons.
that's fine. I got it. Bum, and that, and oop, I gotta check one thing because I know it has one effect, but I'm not sure about the other, and I need to be sure before I put this on your sheet. Where the heck is it? It's here. I know it's here. There it is. Perfect.
I wish to, when you're done with this, I wish to ask Rafi another question. I'll probably regret it.
All right. So, that staff is a ranged weapon. Okay,
Mm.
so when you attack with it, it's going to use
Area.
your
I like that.
yeah, it's going to use your fighting ranged ability.
Stress 7.
It
Holy
does
shit.
7 damage dice.
Wow.
Um,
Things nuke.
and it if you roll any effects, it gets vicious, piercing 2, and area.
Good lord.
Um, it is a short range weapon, so it can you can hit anything in the same zone or one zone over. Um,
Why didn't the llama use this in his final battle?
oh, he did. That's
Oh,
what
he
he would.
did? Oh,
That's what he was using. That's how he
oh, okay.
defeated and defeated the one monk and heavily wounded the servitor. What took him down was he just got mobbed.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious. I'm gonna roll this just because I want to see. Um, what is? Whoa! Why did it roll? Oh, hold on. There we go. What's your to hit number on fighting, ranged fighting?
Well, my fighting skill is 2, and I don't remember if it uses
Ranged
insight
is
or
either agility or coordination.
agility or coordination. I thought there was an insight buff to it, though.
That buffs the damage of ranged weapons.
Damage. Okay,
That's
so
why when I
coordination is
when I
crazy.
accidentally hit the damage roll on it, it rolled 10 dice because you're getting 3 bonus dice from your insight to the damage.
Yeah,
So when you hit something with this, it's gonna. I mean, look at that roll.
that's crazy.
It did 9 damage with 4 effects. So it would have had piercing 8. So anyone who had armor, it probably wouldn't have mattered. With 8 piercing, with the exception of certain big nasties.
So what's your agility?
My agility's low. It's 7,
And how about coordination?
8. What's the difference between agility and coordination? That's just a weird mechanic, isn't it?
Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Like it's 2 synonyms for the same thing.
Well, they're slightly different.
Yeah.
But I want to see which one it is, and I'm struggling with that. Um, we'll figure that out in a moment. But for example, if you had hit somebody with this thing based on that damage roll right there, it would have gone through 8 points of armor automatically and done 13 damage.
Oh, mama.
Yeah, it's pretty serious. But you don't know how many times you're going to get to use it. To which the answer is, am I going to have to use it more than once? That's mildly terrifying, isn't it?
Well, it's a wee bit conspicuous, right? It's like a
Oh,
staff.
yeah, it's 7 foot tall.
You would not part an old man from his walking
Yeah,
stick.
that's right. But then take back one kazan to honor whose Hebrew god whose
Oh,
staff
that
this
one. They're
is.
digging it in the wrong place, indeed. Oh, that's great.
God, we are such nerds.
I would like to ask Rafi if he knows why the Lama um, referred to me as a fellow Atlantean.
Hmm. He says, I can't be sure, except all of mankind is descended from the Atlanteans. Perhaps that is what he meant.
Perhaps.
Well, I don't know, friend. I'm from Texas, and
Hey,
he comes over and
The
he takes
greatest of all
the
Atlanteans.
he takes his flask out and he says, "The llama, he's a good guy. I really appreciated his help." And he like pours just a partial shot on the ground.
there you go.
Nice.
Let's see here.
Okay. Um,
Ranged attacks have a range category. Yeah, thanks, guys. That's the most helpful text in the whole damn book.
Ranged attacks are ranged.
That's right. Sorry, go ahead. I'm
well,
trying to get the answer as to what range use coordination with fighting. Melee uses agility with fighting.
okay.
Hmm.
Very good. Okay, we figured that out. Sorry.
Good. I just noticed on my equipment sheet that we made a mistake during the fight, but it turned out not to be a big deal. But my my weapon, my service revolver, has reliable,
Mm.
which means that the first complication is ignored.
Oh, you're right. You
I
are
wouldn't
right.
have dropped it,
Yeah.
but it all worked out in the end.
Hey, I had a complication when I searched, and we never did anything with it.
Oh, did we not?
We did not. We
Hmm.
forgot.
No, I didn't. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
It's
Uh,
something that may not rear its ugly head this particular adventure.
so Henry looks at Rafi, uh, looks points at the plane, says, "I assume that this plane is ready for takeoff."
Oh, yes, you're fueled and ready. You should have plenty of fuel to make it to Bombay.
Bombay. Nice.
Is that in Honduras?
Mm.
I think
No
Rafi
Latinas for you.
looks at Slim a little funny and says, I don't know what Honduras is.
Oh,
Um,
no. No Latinas, but we have something even better. Bollywood.
Oh, God.
Amazing.
well, Henry
Seriously, how beautiful are Bollywood actresses?
Oh,
So
no
I'm with
beautiful.
argument here.
Henry
Jesus, so
does a
good looking.
Henry does a partial bow to the boy and says, "Thank you for all your assistance." And he starts walking towards the plane. I'm trying to remember, did we leave? I don't think we left anything behind up the million steps when we left. I don't
Probably
remember
just
leaving
Slim's
anything.
bazooka,
Oh, I
which
forgot
which
about.
I think would be I think all your stuff is waiting down with you.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Because Slim is
cinematically, we don't.
climbing that mountain otherwise.
No one has to climb that mountain of steps, which is a good thing.
Right.
All right, so Henry starts walking towards the plane.
All right, time to suit up, I suppose. And he walks after Baker and nods to Rafi.
All right.
So before I get to the plane, before I get in the plane, I'm going to stop and wait for the guys to collect.
Okay.
All right.
Uh, so we have enough fuel to get to Bombay. So I guess we should make our way uh, to Bombay, and we should have some time to uh, decide what our next move is: refuel and continue back to England, or move to our next location. What I will say is, but if some of that strange, eerie, greenish blue lightning occurs and we end up on the English Channel, we won't have much time to discuss this. And I want to discuss quickly. Uh, we've been warned not to let the device be essentially assembled and put in the hands of any one power.
I follow you.
So, but our mission is to collect up all the parts and bring them back to British intelligence. So, how are we going to reconcile that? I, I'm I I feel that we have to decide how much we tell British intelligence and what we give them.
Hmm. So Slim is like stroking his chin, and he says, "Well,
No, you dropped out. Or did I drop out? Can you guys hear me?
I hear
I hear
you.
you.
Lost
Uh
Slim.
oh.
Lost
I
Lost
Slim.
heard Kyle for a minute.
lost Kyle.
He said he scratched his head or put his whatever he was thinking of, and then I didn't hear anything after
Yep. Then he went. There he is.
am I
that.
back?
You are.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
weird. That's really strange."
Just dropped out.
Huh. All right. Well, I think he looks pensive and like he's trying to contribute in some way, and then he like nods and he looks and over at everyone else and he says, "Well, well, what do you think we should do?"
So, what was the nature of your? What was
We
the objection? Like,
we
what did
have
you
a
think?
conundrum, and that is we have a mission. Okay, our mission as set by our handler, uh, and some of us need to fulfill our various missions for various reasons. But the mission is to go around and collect up the parts of this machine or parts of this device or whatever it is. We've collected several already and given them to British intelligence. But we've been warned about the awesome power if these parts of this thing are put together, if the machine's ever assembled and operated, and that no one should have that power. So the question we have is we need to think about how much information we provide our handlers, but we have a moral conundrum versus what's necessary for our mission and to fulfill our duties, and what's our responsibility to the human race.
Well, I was told the top men are working on it. I, I, that sounds like they should have it. Should they not?
I'm just Yeah, well, that's the question. Should When the time comes, do we provide the book of the machine to British intelligence?
Well,
Now we're not done with the quest. We still have other parts to find.
I mean,
So it's
uh,
just something we have to consider.
you know, I work for the U.S. Army. I don't work for the llama.
Yes, this concerns the fate of all humanity.
Well, something to consider. We don't have to decide now because we obviously don't have all the parts. We haven't found all the parts.
You guys have found two, correct? You found the shield
Yes.
and then the sun. I can't remember exactly what it was called, but
Yeah.
the sun.
And
Yeah.
and then and now we found the book of the machine, which we haven't studied it yet, but it would appear by its name to be instructions on how to put everything together. So, another piece. Okay, so let's not spend time. I just wanted to say this is something we have to consider. There might be a time soon when we have to decide whether we're giving the whole information or part of the information to British intelligence.
So I think you guys are going to have to walk Slim through that because I just don't think he understands the implications and all that. So that's why I'm playing dumb.
Yeah. Oh no, I understand. And Henry has his own complications. Okay,
Ooh, I see.
Henry has his own complications if let's put it this way, if he's ever caught not fulfilling his mission to the utmost, he has complications.
I see. Okay.
And I'm not going to metagame any more than that. Just you can see the concern on his face that he's kind of torn between doing what we have set out to do as a team, and we are an effective team, and what the ultimate right thing might be. But right now we're only part way through, so it's not something we have to address at the moment. It's just something that's starting to dig at him. That's why he expressed his concern.
Okay.
And then he turns and gets on the plane.
Slim looks at Singh and he says, "What's wrong with him?"
The fate of the world weighs heavily upon him, as indeed it should weigh upon us all.
Well,
Our
I suppose.
path is winding and leads to dark places, young Slim.
This place ain't so bad. And, he's like, he gets on, and what was the guy's name? The pilots that.
Hold on. I got this. Hold on.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a pet snake named Reggie, does he?
No. The pilot was
Emerson?
was an Asian man named K Hwai Kwan.
Okay. Hey, hey, buddy. And he like shouts, he's like, "You gonna teach me how to take off?" And we just see him disappear into the plane.
Is there a reason why we must go to Mumbai?
Bombay. Bombay is what.
Because
Oh,
we're
it's Bombay is Mumbai.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
sorry.
right. You're right. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I forgot that. Yeah, we're dealing in the past. So yeah, Bombay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I had forgotten that they are the same.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is one of these missions that takes place in like Sri Lanka or something, right?
Well, you know from your previous information that it was believed that there were pieces of the machine in India, somewhere in Persia, and British Honduras.
right.
Okay.
And
So
British
maybe
Honduras is where you guys were headed before you got intercepted, because you also believe there might be a particular evil sorcerer over there that you ran into once before in Vienna floating around.
so it could make logistical sense to go to India next.
Well,
Well, we're
besides,
very close to Khan's like home area. We're like
Right.
right next door, basically. It's
yes,
closer than Bombay.
and the other point I would make is geography. Okay,
Yeah.
we have the planes in 1939 could only get you so far, especially flying at high altitude over mountains. They burned a lot of fuel.
Right.
Makes sense.
So we probably have enough fuel to get to Bombay. If we wanted to go all the way back to England or to go anywhere else, we'd have to get fuel in Bombay, then fuel in another spot, and then fuel in another spot. We'd have to, leapfrog from place to
Sure.
place to place. So the next step is Bombay, no matter what happens, because that's what we have fuel for.
Well, what I'm saying is we could go much closer than that. If we just go west, we could go to the Punjab region, which is
Yeah,
where
but
Khan comes from.
Mm.
So it's like half the distance
I
to
agree.
Bombay.
Okay, I agree, but
Well, I mean, you guys do have to do. Let's just short interjection here. Inter, shall we say, intermission stuff. Wow, that is interesting. I literally meant it as between missions, and yet it became intermission. There's some healing that needs to be had, right? Which takes time. and you guys probably want to study all this stuff you have, which also takes time. So keeping all
And
that in
yeah,
mind.
and theoretically, using our XP spend to increase talents and increase skills and stuff theoretically takes time. So it's just that I don't see a problem with going to Bombay since there's also going to be a military presence there, a strong English military presence there.
Well, that would be true
Okay.
of everywhere here, probably.
At this
Oh,
time,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, you
Khan's
decide.
garrison is an English military thing.
You tell the pilot where to go, and we'll go.
Well, story-wise, does it matter?
Up to you guys.
It might.
I mean, if
Because it might add color to go to Khan's hometown.
sure,
He could introduce his beautiful young 22-year-old daughter to Slim, or not.
That's a mistake.
that's asking for all kinds of trouble.
Oh, I don't know, man. You should meet Khan's daughter. She's a female version of Khan.
Oh, oh,
Oh
no,
man.
that's terrifying.
Only, yeah.
Um. Okay. Just so, according to the story, we have sufficient facilities to properly do all the stuff we have to do before we decide where to go next. Plus, um, my understanding was all we knew about an artifact in India was some place in India. We didn't have any geographic details, right?
Well, at the time, correct.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So he will
So
instruct the
one
pilot.
place is as good as any other place.
He will instruct the pilot to take us to Amritsar, the spiritual capital of Sikhism in
Oh,
India.
very nice.
And you may do touristy shit there, like visit the Golden Temple and such.
Oh wow, cool.
Khan will
Yeah.
take you.
I might let Sharif narrate that because I think he knows a lot more about it than I do.
I only know super broad strokes, so I
Well,
would be
that's
a
more than
terrible.
what I know,
I would
so
be a terrible,
we're on the same page.
terrible guide. But we can for next time. I can put some effort into
Yeah,
fleshing that out. If
that
you
would
like.
be good. We can handle some nuts and bolts stuff now. And then yeah, you can. I'll let you narrate something next session. Um,
Excellent.
I,
let's do this. Let's take a quick 5 minutes
okay.
and come
Excellent.
right back.
Thank
By
you.
the way, as soon as Henry's butt met the seat, he was asleep.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure he could sleep standing up if he needed to, with one eye open.
Sleep with one eye open. You
That's
were
right.
just there.
Oh, dude, I still can't get over that concert. Never seen anything like it. Uh, yeah, I've never seen anything like it. It was amazing. So, all right, cool. Be right back.
Not really.
I'm back. What's the link?
That is Metallica posts two videos from each concert they do. And the first one is when they played the song that I was hoping and praying they were going to play, which is called Lux Eterna. Um, and which has been kind of a driving force theme song for me now for about 2 years. And then the
I'm back.
second one is when they played Enter Sandman at the end of the concert.
I would have loved to have seen that.
I've never experienced anything like it. There are 80,000 people there, and Virginia Tech, which is where this was. This was in Lane Stadium in Virginia Tech. Um, their walk-in music for their football team for over 20 years has been Enter Sandman, and their thing in the stadium when the guys are coming on the field and that song starts playing, the whole stadium starts jumping in time with the bass drum.
Oh wow.
And so this song Enter Sandman got played twice. It got played at the beginning of the concert just over the PA, just like as if it were a football game, and the crowd went pretty crazy about that. But then they actually played it at the end. They said, "That's it. Have a good night. That's great." And you'll see in the video Hetfield walking around, and everyone knows they're not done. I mean, it's been Virginia Tech's walk-in music for over 2 decades. They're not
Yeah.
going to get away without playing that. And I just I've never been. I've been to a lot of concerts, and I've never been at a concert where when you're in the crowd is singing louder than the metal band that's mic'd up and
Yeah.
amped up.
Wow.
It was amazing.
That's cool. And such a legend too. I mean, that band
Oh, they're
larger
you,
than life. You know.
they get so much hate, and they're going to get so much hate, and they've always gotten hate. And I can everyone that has something negative to say about them, I can reply, in kind, in a very logical and rational way about why they're wrong. But the simple fact of the matter is, everyone that achieves success gets a large amount of hate. And no matter what anyone wants to say, no matter what anyone wants to say about how Black Sabbath and Ozzy started metal, or how Metallica wouldn't have existed without King Diamond and Merciful Fate and Motorhead. No matter how much someone wants to say about Dave Mustaine's a better guitarist than Kirk Hammett, or how they're not the hardcore death metal that and they're not as technically brilliant as Slayer. No matter what anyone wants to say, no one can argue the simple fact that they're the biggest metal band and one of the biggest bands ever. Period.
Yeah. No kidding.
The Black Album is now the 14th best-selling album of all music of all time, and the number one metal album. Certified platinum 12 times over. So,
Wow.
People like what they like.
Well, that's the thing, and let's be blunt. In the metal community, there's an amount of hating anything mainstream, and anything successful is therefore mainstream and therefore to be hated. There's a degree of that, and
That
I
is
just
true. I have some of that, I must admit, especially when it comes to Metallica, because I remember being in high school and loving Metallica. It's a little bit hand in hand with D&D and other things, video games and stuff. I remember when you had to pay a cost in social interaction for liking Metallica.
yeah, yeah,
You were a piece of shit. Like in not for real, obviously, but in like the mainstream opinion. Like if you were a metalhead that liked Metallica, you were a dirtbag.
oh yeah,
And I remember the day it changed. I was in my early 20s. I walked into a club. It was after the what is it, the Sandman? What album is that?
yeah.
The
The
Black
Black
album,
Album.
right?
Yep.
Yeah, and I went into like a big club, like a one of these like like faddish, like really big. I forgot what it was called, but like a Dakota's type, like a huge club that was like very like in kind of a thing, and people were dancing to Sandman,
Yeah.
and I was like, I'm out. It irritated me so much that Metallica had become this like common like thing that now everybody liked, and it was like divorced from everything that it had been. And that's a stupid reason to stop liking something, but it rubbed me the wrong way.
Well, and that happened to a lot of people, and to this day, there's a lot of people that feel that way. They call the Black Album the poser album, the this album, the that.
Yeah,
You
isn't it
know.
funny? I feel that way, and I don't know why I have that prejudice, but it changed. The music changed definitely with that album. It became much more tame, I would
Well,
say.
I might argue that to some extent, but um, as someone who's grown a lot from the standpoint of being able to look at music, for instance, I used to hate Judas Priest. I used to hate Judas Priest.
Really?
Yeah. And now, as I've matured a bit in the last 10 years, I've come to the realization that uh, I still don't think that Judas Priest is as talented and as epic as, say, Iron Maiden, but I've come to appreciate what they contributed. Though I will make the argument they weren't metal prior to 1990, that they were hard rock, more like AC/DC. And it wasn't until
Hmm,
Painkiller came out that they became metal. But anyway,
that might be true. Yeah, I could
um,
see that.
because you listen to Painkiller, and that song, the song itself, is so radically faster, different, and thrashier than anything they've ever done. Which, by the way, all I'm going to say
That's
is
fair.
this: is listen to Master of Puppets, listen to Painkiller, and then listen to the in-game music from the original Doom.
That's funny.
And it makes you wonder how the creators of Doom didn't get sued by both Metallica and Judas Priest. Um, all right.
Let's continue.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Because I could talk about this particular subject just about forever. Um, all right. Which, by the way, all I'm going to say is read Mirror Darkly, but when I come out with it this fall. Let's.
Plug, plug.
Yeah, well, I have to do that.
All right.
Let's do this. Let's handle some nuts and bolts things.
Okay.
Um, it's reasonably we'll handle the RP and the narrative of it next time, but from the standpoint of intermission, the simple fact is you guys get some time to rest, relax, get your shit together, etc., etc. So, um, that means you're going to want to ditch any fatigue that you have. You're going to want to
Yeah,
ditch any stress damage you have. Um, Now, who has injuries? Walter still has two. I don't know if any of you guys have injuries.
No, I've escaped.
Okay.
same. I'm clean.
Clean.
All right. So I'm going to, when we play next time, I'll spend a minute with Jim to handle that side on Pilecki. I mean, his injuries are going to heal, but it's going to be question of scars, which both of his injuries are mental injuries. This poor guy.
Oh my God.
He,
We're going to be tucking him into a bed in like an asylum somewhere at the end of this.
dude, I mean, he's already got two mental scars.
It'll be like the end of. Did you guys ever see the Tom Hanks movie Monsters and Mazes? I think it's called.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
god,
It
yeah.
was a like a panic D&D panic movie from the 80s.
Yeah, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, Kyle, I don't know. It sounds like maybe you haven't seen it, but
I haven't
it's
no.
it's worth it. But it's campy and hard to get through. But it'll give you a sense of like in the 80s, like people were terrified of D&D. Some people, not everybody, obviously, but some people were like really, really scared that it was going to lead young, impressionable teens to commit suicide and like lose grasp of reality. And that's what that movie's about.
Again, read Mirror Darkly.
Okay,
I touch
awesome.
on that in there too.
Really, you touch on Monster Maces or the
Not
Panic?
not not that movie, but the D&D and metal panic of the 80s leading into the 90s.
Yeah, they were people were clutching pearls, and but that movie was made like they blew a real case that had really happened that had nothing to do with D&D. They like kind of linked it to D&D and made it seem like D&D caused this kid's
Really?
mental breakdown. But at the end, they go visit him in the asylum.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that's what we're going to do with Walter.
Yeah, it's yeah. He on the other hand, he may end up with a far deeper understanding of the universe than any of you.
Perhaps, yeah. He will be
Um,
like a walking gateway.
Well, the thing is,
Sassafras or whatever his name was. What's his name?
Sarthithus.
Sassafras.
well, there are some there's some good talents out there that will help could help him boost his courage almost immediately. So
Yeah.
um, that that's that's gonna have to be his priority. But
Is there a talent that keeps your mind together when it's like places?
I think once you start down the dark path,
It's like Call of Cthulhu.
um,
My character still has 57 hit points, but zero sanity. So give him a
all
try.
right, so
so let's do this. Let's talk XP for a minute, shall
yes,
we?
please.
I'm showing Baker with a balance of 5.
Correct.
I'm showing Pilecki with a balance of 1. I've got Pilecki's sheet open. I'm showing Singh with a balance of 5. Is that correct?
That is.
And Slim with 2.
That's right.
All right, perfect. I get to make a heading here for Nepal. Um, Nepal. Okay, so we're going to start first on this side of it. Goals. You receive 5 XP for completing your goal. Okay, well, that was easy.
All right.
All right, heroism. Take a vote between the players on who performed any heroic deeds and rank them in order.
Now you're keeping tabs. Do we need to keep tabs with you?
So, who had heroic deeds?
You're
All
keeping
right.
you're keeping track of the points, Marty. Can you hear me? Hello,
Hello.
hello.
Test 1 2. I can hear.
Hello,
I don't know if you
Gotcha.
guys can hear me. Hello.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
guys?
Oh, okay. I hear you,
I can
Marty.
hear you too, Marty.
Marty, can you hear us? Marty,
Marty.
because I've been
Hello?
talking to him. I don't think he can hear us.
Test
Hello,
test.
hello. Test these 1 2 3.
Anybody?
This is like a seance.
Okay.
Marty,
Oh, that
can you hear me?
Marty.
shit.
This is a transmission from the future. Hello. Marty, can you hear us? Attention,
Okay.
1984. This is a transmission from the future.
Yeah, shit. You make me piss my pants.
Uh-oh.
Testing? Hello?
All right. He sent a
Hello,
message
hello.
that he sent a message that he's reconnecting.
So
Did you guys ever see that horror movie? I think it's a John Carpenter horror movie
You guys
where
there?
it's like, hello,
Yeah.
yep,
Ah,
hello,
I gotcha. Okay. Don't know what happened.
D20.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. First off, I heard something about John Carpenter horror movie. The answer is yes. Which one are we talking about?
The one where it takes place in a church and there's like this evil artifact that they uncovered in the
Prince of
basement.
Darkness.
Prince of Darkness. And in
Yep.
the beginning of that movie, they get a transmission from the future. You see a transmission from the future warning that the devil is going to like return to Earth.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever see that?
Yeah. I've seen every
That's,
John Carpenter
that
movie.
scared the shit out of me when I was younger. That dream, he thinks it's a dream, but it's really a transmission from the future. I found that's creepy as shit. This is not a dream. This is a transmission from the future. That's scary.
Well, then there's In the Mouth of Madness with Sam Neill. If you've seen that one,
Yes, I've seen that too.
that's a great one. Okay, so let's start over because I don't know what happened here. You
You're
each get
keeping track of all the points. We don't need to because I have to go get a pen. Then.
no. I've got a spreadsheet. I'm gonna punch it all into, and then
Okay.
so you guys each got 5 XP for completing for achieving the mission.
Hooray.
So then the next question was, you guys need to discuss every one who had a heroic deed and determine who is the most heroic.
all right, so I was looking at the notes, and this one's going to be tricky because our first adventure in Nepal was on January 23rd.
Was it
Really?
really?
Yeah.
Oh, because
Getting-
we took
We
a
took a
break to play
break.
Alien.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to remember. So
Okay.
something happened in the battlements that Slim did that I don't remember off the top of my head, but I remember thinking at the time that it was heroic.
So your argument was that from a role play perspective, we knew the guns weren't going to harm the I forget what they're called, the monsters.
Right.
Then I took a round to go for it.
Yes, that must have been it. And then also, I feel that Walter needs some kind of recognition for the constant mental abuse that he's
I am
like,
in agreement with that. Yeah.
putting his character through is just brutal.
Yeah.
So, talking about Slim and Walter for a moment, Slim attacked with his machine gun and did nothing. Then he went into melee combat with the knife against one of those things, and specifically used one of his talents to draw the thing's attention.
Oh.
Also, later he used his machine gun to mow down a group of guys in one fell swoop, which was pretty impressive. Walter, now
Except,
Walter,
except
go ahead.
in my cinematic universe, he nicked my ear.
Yeah, that's right.
Those bullets flew right by my head.
Walter took a physical injury. He also took 2 more mental injuries.
Yeah.
And at which point, if he takes damage again, he dies. He used a fortune point to make himself undefeated or become not defeated so that he could still function, even though he had 3 injuries and another injury kills him.
Yeah.
And
Does it have to be just one, or can they split the honor?
So the way it works is the most heroic person gets 5. Anyone else who did something heroic gains 3.
Oh, okay.
So
well, I
we
would
know
volunteer the Walter gets 5 and Slim gets 3.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Okay. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Yeah, Walter for sure. This guy's gonna be a vegetable by the time we hit Honduras.
Yeah, you're not kidding.
Yeah, he's gonna have a lot of scars.
Um.
The rest of us are like, yay! He's like, the darkness.
Well, that's right. Invoking a truth, invoked a scar to gain a fortune point. Pilecki actually did that. That's how he got the fortune point, so that he could.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's a dangerous thing. Failure. Haha. You gain 1 XP each time you fail a skill test roll in which you bought 1 or more bonus d20s. I kept track of that.
I think I did that more than once.
Oh, don't worry, Baker. You did it 3 times, so that gained you.
Baker did it 3 times.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which gained
Holy
him 3
shit.
XP. Pilecki did it once, which gained him once. Singh did it 3 times, which gained him 3 XP. And Slim did it once, which gained him 1. Yeah, I kept very close attention on that because it's one that we always forget about.
It's funny.
You gain 1 XP when the GM spends 3 or more thread at once. I did that, so that's +1 for everybody. All right. Now I got to switch over to book number 2, which I don't know why it does that. That's one complaint that I sometimes have with Modifius. Sometimes their manuals are not always laid out in a way that makes sense. All right. Did a PC distinguish themselves through outstanding and conspicuous acts of bravery, gallantry, or heroism?
Why, yes, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
All of my compatriots did so.
I think that's I think everybody was involved in that. I don't think that's even a question. So that is 10 down the 10 down the list.
What does that mean? What do you mean?
Gain 10 XP.
10.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was a PC seriously wounded during the course of their duties? Paleki!
Oh.
Innovative or novel solutions to problems?
Ooh, that's interesting.
We did bring down a tower. Does that qualify?
Yeah.
It's hard to remember the shit from January, though.
Yeah,
Well-
it's interesting because this has only been 4 sessions, but yeah, January's tough. January was when we were taking off. There was the lightning in the plane. Slim was jostling around in the plane.
Yeah. All the real mission was all relatively recent. We did have a break because we had a hard time getting together. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna throw everyone 5 on that. Because if nothing else, you were like, well, let's create a truth so that we have explosives and shit like that. So, yeah, we'll do that. Did a PC willingly sacrifice their well-being and put themselves at risk for the good of the group?
Slim, yes. Palecki, yes. I mean, I feel like almost
everybody
everybody
did that.
did that. Henry did it
I think you're probably
in the
right about
final
that.
combat, for sure.
I mean, it might have been more noticeable with Pilecki willing to melt his brain down, but
Yeah.
but I think everybody jumped on that
Yeah, there
one.
was some heroic shit going on there at the end. People positioning themselves so other people couldn't get hit.
Yeah, I agree completely.
So what's
Unfortunate.
that worth?
I'm sorry. 5.
Damn, dude.
Unfortunately, there was no defeating a nemesis. Those big nasties were
No helmet Fuchs
That's
on
right.
this one.
Yeah, that's right. Well, the main monk was a nemesis, but Searing Lama took care of him. So I'm sorry, I'm not giving you credit for that one. How challenging the mission was. How challenging was this mission?
I think it was definitely scary at times. Slim was, I think partially he just got lucky, but he wasn't really touched. But there was a moment when all those goons were coming out where I thought we were well and truly boned.
The Lama Searing hadn't come, it would have been the most challenging.
I don't know. I feel like the
mission we've
wizards
had so
took all the
far.
heat this time around.
But he showed up.
I don't think you guys are hearing each other.
No, I don't think so either.
No, I can't hear anyone
I can't
except
hear
you.
anybody else other than you, Marty.
Let me reconnect.
Okay.
Man, D20, can you hear me, Marty?
I hear you fine. Yeah.
Okay, I can
D20,
hear.
D20 is really
All right,
sucking.
I got everyone back.
And I do too. Okay, go ahead.
All right, yeah, you guys were talking over each other. Slim, you go first.
I just said I felt like the wizards took all the heat. It got scary there for a bit. I don't know if it was.
I did definitely cast a ton of spells in this
Yeah,
one. It was
it was
spell after
rigorous.
spell after spell.
Slim was fine for most of the mission, but I felt like you guys got the brunt of it.
Well, what was the original question that Marty asked?
How challenging was this mission?
I found it pretty hard. As far as a challenge, I thought there was a lot going on with the bad guys. Turned out we got some help, but that could have gone upside down pretty easily. I think there was a lot of bad guys. That was the biggest fight we've had yet. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, it was definitely the biggest fight you've had.
And then we
Because
had those specials that were like just absorbing damage left and right. Yeah, I thought it was pretty challenging.
I mean, don't get me wrong, you had to fight a lot of a lot of mooks when you did Rome, but most of those were just most of those were just basic baddies that didn't take a whole lot of damage. In fact, Slim mowed most of them down. It feels like.
And
I
we fought the lizard men. There was a lot of them. Is that what you're not talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah,
them?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
In
Okay,
Rome,
you are.
there were a
Yeah.
lot of them, but they weren't particularly difficult. There was just a lot of them. I feel like this is, put it to you this way. I feel like this is probably tied for being the most difficult thing you've done. But I don't think it was as hard as it could have been, which probably is terrifying you. So, a plus 10 for that.
Wow.
Yeah, I do agree with that assessment. I think I'm a little biased having not taken any damage.
Yeah. Well, that's just how epic Slim is. He just doesn't get hurt. All right, so that puts
And he pulled
Pilecki.
out a knife and jumped into it and still didn't get hurt. So that's kind of he got super lucky, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. So that puts Pilecki at 49 XP.
Wow.
Nice. Can we get him one more point?
All right, so I guess the next question becomes XP spends. Um, it looks like you're all doing 4 upgrades because you're all in the 40s.
Yeah. So I've already given this some thought for Henry.
All right.
I wanted to add the defensive talent, which in melee combat increases the attacker's difficulty by +1 against me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty nice talent.
And then I want to increase my resilience by 1, which would, I think resilience automatically boosts your courage.
If you have I think you have to have the courageous talent for that. Maybe I'm wrong. Hold on.
Well, I'm sorry. Let me change that different. Anyway, resilience increases something, but that was going to be the next talent was courageous.
Oh, okay.
I was going to add the courageous talent, and
Which
then
gives you what, courage equal to your resilience score? Is that what that does?
yeah,
Yeah.
and then the other thing I was going to do was increase my fighting focus by 1, or add a fighting focus melee. Let's see. Let me go to fighting focus. Yeah, I was going to add a focus in my fighting to melee
Okay.
weapons.
All right. That will work. So you added the melee weapon fighting
Or hold it.
focus.
Oh,
Go ahead.
wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me. No. I've made a mistake there.
Did you know you can take defensive twice, Marty?
I think no. I think there's a talent called. I think there's a talent called fighting focus. I got to pull up my.
Hmm.
I'm sorry, what did you ask, Sharif?
This is for Marty VP. You know that defensive can be taken twice, once for melee and once for ranged.
Oh,
Yes, I
yeah.
was. Yes, I was going to take. I was going to take. Yeah, I was going to take the melee one. And then for my fighting focus, for a fighting focus, I have to I was gonna I have to decide between melee weapons or handguns. I haven't.
I don't see
I,
that talent fighting focus.
No,
it's a
it's
focus. If you
it.
go under
Oh,
fighting
focus,
Yeah.
and
focus.
look at
Okay.
your focus, then fighting. Where's fighting? Under fighting, there's a focus on melee weapons, handguns, hand to hand. I have to decide. I'm trying to decide whether handguns or melee weapons. And so for right now, Marty, I'll let you know which one of those I decide on.
Okay. All
Okay?
right. But you're upping resilience one. You're buying a fighting focus. We're just not sure which one. You're
Yeah,
buying courageous, and then you're buying the defensive talent for melee against melee.
correct.
Very good. Um, so make sure you up your courage equal to your resilience score too.
I will.
Okay. All right. Who's next? And that should leave you with a balance of 4, according to my math.
Correct.
All right. Perfect.
So I'm trying to think about the things that Slim has done this adventure that would warrant increases, right? So I'm thinking he spent a few hours tinkering around with the plane with the pilot. So I'm thinking about, I don't know, it doesn't justify a focus in aircraft because I don't think he spent enough time behind the stick. But I do think he could maybe increase his vehicle score by one.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
Like it.
Secondly, I'm trying to think of what else he's done. He's so engaged in melee combat for the second time.
Yeah.
So I think, given that he fought off two monsters with the furba or whatever, after after his last adventure with the sword, I do think maybe there's justification for something to do with melee. Now I don't know if that's an increase in fighting or whether that's a focus in melee. Um, any thoughts on this from the group?
Um, I would think that what's your fighting skill now?
4.
I mean I would think going with a melee focus would make a lot of sense.
Okay. Yeah, so he's getting better. I think he's also kind of like watching Baker and like taking in all Baker's, knife skills and stuff. So, okay, so there's that. So there's 2 skills, 2 out of 4 improvements. Um, all right, other things. He's witnessed a lot of magic this time around. He's had to steel himself to walk under a lake. I think I would like to kick up my will by 1.
Oh, okay, very good. What's that make your will?
An 8.
Okay, very good.
And I don't know what to do with this last improvement. I mean, we did stealth around a little bit. We did. Uh, yeah, maybe a stealth because we were sneaking around. Unless anyone has any feedback there.
No, I mean I think that would be
Okay.
fine. You're just going to up stealth by a point then.
Yep.
So what's that take your stealth up to?
2.
Very good. All right, so just spent another 40, so you should have a balance of 2.
Okay.
And then sing.
Is he there? He might have Might have.
I think he's muted.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. You were right. Um, I was yapping my ass off. So it's 10 points for every buy, right?
Correct.
And there's some limitations. We can only raise one attribute.
No, you can raise as many attributes as you
Okay,
want, but you cannot raise an attribute above 12 or a skill
right.
above 5.
And was there some cutoff for? I seem to remember calculating that like 11 and 12, there wasn't a whole lot of difference, or that's just something else regarding his skill. Don't worry about it if that doesn't make sense.
Well, no, I think that has to do with like damage bonus of
Yeah, I think so too.
yeah. From 11 and 12, I don't think it really makes a difference on
Yeah, 10
damage
I think was
bonus.
the cutoff. Anyway, okay, so that doesn't matter so much. And then the skills themselves is 4 the top or 5? I
5.
can't remember. 5 is the top. Okay, and how many points do I have?
You have 44, so you can make 4 improvements, and you'll have
4
4 left
improvements.
over.
Okay. Well, first thing I was thinking of was the spell that I've wanted to get for like the last two things, but I was always more important shit to get. But I think we could use this a lot. Roots of the Earth.
Oh yeah,
It's sort of a
that's like a teleportation, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. It's not like teleport anywhere.
No, no,
It's
it's
limited to with okay. The spell may affect the spellcaster and any of the spellcaster's allies within close range, up to a total number of targets equal to half the spellcaster's power. Rounding up, the affected characters vanish and instantly reappear at any point within sight within long range.
yeah, yeah.
So
And then
for
you've got some momentum
infiltration and things like
spends.
that, it might be very, very handy. So
Um, okay, yeah, yeah,
I
you
don't know
can.
if that's possible, but
Yeah, I'm good with it.
okay. Let me just add at least the name, Roots of the Earth. I can flesh out the rest later.
That's fine.
Okay.
Now that spell is this the associated skill is survival, so you might want to look. I don't know what your survival ability
It's
is.
pretty low. Um, so I guess I'll have to buy a point of survival. Survival is based on what attribute?
Well, it's not.
It's not.
So when you cast this spell, it's going to use your whatever your spell casting attribute is plus your survival score, which I think for you is it's either will or insight. I don't
It's
remember which.
insight.
Yeah. So
Insight's maxed out, so I don't know if I should worry about that too much. One thing that happens to me a lot is I am challenged by reason, and I have to use that a lot. So I think I'm going to raise that to 9.
okay. All right. So the
Okay,
spell and reason. So that's 2 improvements. All right.
that leaves me 2. And then the pistol stuff, fighting ranged, is coordination, and it uses the fighting skill. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what's better, to raise coordination or raise the fighting skill to up my ranged. What do you think's a better tactic here?
Um. I think it's either or.
Well, I suppose then I'll raise the coordination because, what if I want to, I don't know,
All right.
Well,
thread a
the
needle?
advantage of, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hear you.
Uh, what's your coordination now?
8.
So if you raise it to 9, does that give you a bonus damage when you raise your coordination to 9? It should do it automatically on your sheet.
I don't think so.
No, I don't see anything happening.
I think bonus damage is brawn for melee, insight for ranged,
Yeah, it is
and
insight.
then it's willpower for mental attacks.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand because on coordination, my sheet, I'm a 10, and then the bonus damage says 2. So there must be some attack that uses coordination. At any rate, I'd say if your coordination is 8, your biggest bang is raising that 1 because it'll help your fighting and it might help some other things.
So say that last part again. You think I should do what?
I think you should increase your coordination because it'll help your fighting,
And some other stuff too, because
and it
that's what I
might
was
help,
thinking
and it
too.
might add into other stuff. For example, when we do these climbing, what's your agility?
7.
Yeah, see, when we do these climbing things where Henry just whips up the rope, but you guys have to climb up and down the ropes, usually you get to use agility or coordination.
Okay.
The Marty usually lets us use whichever one of those is higher, so that'll help you with stuff like that.
Okay, Roger. I will take care. I will do coordination as you suggest. It seems to be the good.
All
I
right.
believe that leaves me with 1 point.
Correct.
So stress is resilience. Is that correct?
Hold on. That's a very valid question. There's two different ways to calculate the stress track, page 32. We're flipping, we're flipping.
Let me say, when I increased my resilience by 1, the sheet increased my stress by 1.
Yeah, the stress track is
Stress
equal
track.
to the higher of your brawn or your will plus your resilience skill.
Yeah. So increasing your resilience increases your stress
Your
track
stress track by one. Yeah, yeah.
by each point. Yeah.
Done. I raised my resilience to a maximum of 5.
Wow.
I am very resilient.
You also mean that also means you get up your courage by one because you have the courageous,
Yes, thank you.
and that should leave you with a balance of 4.
Indeed.
Um, so that's very interesting. Wow. It looks like it looks like Baker and Slim both are going to end up receiving promotions to staff sergeant
Oh wow.
from
Nice.
this. And then let's see. And then Singh. I can't remember. Singh, are you enlisted or are you an officer?
I am an officer, sir.
Ah, you are an officer.
I am a captain.
Well, not anymore. You're not. Now
Mm.
you're a major.
Mm.
And
Hip
then
hip.
that's right. I don't remember if Pilecki is enlisted or if he is an officer. Oh, he is also an officer. All right, so yeah. Oh, wow. Are there any? Oh, Pilecki's gonna get another Purple Heart.
Got, like,
He's going to be able to
got a wall.
wallpaper his bunk wall with them soon.
That's
He's got
hilarious.
a purple star, a purple heart with 6 golden stars on it, or something.
Oh, shit. Pilecki earns a Medal of Honor for this mission.
Mm.
Wow.
Wow.
That's tight.
Well, which army is he in?
U.S.
Oh, okay.
He's Polish, but he's U.S. Army. So, all right. Well, I'll figure all that part out. That's going to take a minute. I'll
So what'd you say? What'd you say? Henry's new
Henry
rank
and
would be?
Slim are both now staff sergeants. Yeah.
Awesome.
And what is Pilecki's new rank?
And Pilecki is a U.S. Army major. Yeah.
Major Pilecki.
And Khan is
Yeah,
a
you're like Jim.
British Army major.
Yep. Jim's final rank at retirement was major. The actual player is a major, so that's fun.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You, you
I mean, it
guys
means
are
nothing. That's fun.
you guys are going to be the heroes of the entire world before this is all said and done.
My last comment could be misinterpreted. I don't mean that it means nothing that Jim's a major. I mean that
Oh,
it means
no.
nothing that his character and him are both majors.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
I think we all knew what you meant.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. If we're being recorded or something, I don't want that. I don't want that to get legs and live on its own. That's not what I meant.
All right. Well, it's 12:40 my time,
Okay.
11:40 Central. I think that's kind of the place to stop, huh?
Yeah, I got to
Um,
mosey out.
Yeah. I think Jim said he couldn't play next week.
No, that was me.
Oh, that was you. I'm sorry.
Yeah. My wife scheduled dental surgery in the middle of gaming.
How could she do such a thing?
Hmm.
So that's fine. We'll start on the 19th. We'll play on the 19th. Sharif will have something colorfully narrated for us
Cool. I'm
for
looking
his
forward to this. Thanks
hometown.
for the opportunity. I really appreciate
Cool.
that. This will be
Yeah,
fun.
That will be fun.
Give me
and
something to sink my teeth into. I'll talk to you about this outside of the game, Marty.
that's cool. Yeah, just email me, text, what have you,
All right,
and
cool.
we'll talk about what you guys want to. You guys have a lot of stuff to look over and study and think about, and then to make some decisions about what you want to do next. So sounds
Awesome.
cool. All right, awesome.
Awesome.
We will see you guys. See you guys in 2 weeks.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good,
Okay,
guys.
thanks. Hey,
Later.
Kyla.
Yeah.
Kyle, I got a question